do, so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move, so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
Hello everybody and welcome to Dynamic GT League's Track Limits Championship, the TLC, for race 4 from Monza. Let's not hang about, let's get over to the commentators. So here we go then for the Festival of Speed, or is it Temple of Speed, known as Monza in Italy. And as we take a quick look at the marshals, the son in the windows and the daughters in the windows, and then we look at the grid as we're joined by Ray on the commentary box. Demon R on pole. How are you, Ray?
I'm doing very well.
I was expecting something else then. I'm doing alright, thank you, as SGP nearly had pole position until it was pipped at the last, so but a front row start for him. I think it was Steve F1 started in 3rd place and Dave the Harp in 4th. Some bright white lights on that car there, Ray.
Yep, and we've got SRI in 5th and Jason in 6th. And down to Art Pal, he's in 7th with Twilight not that far behind him. Yep,
Conrad in 9th place, and then we've got Bob in 10th, and then Formula Gary sporting a new decal on his car. Might be able to see it during the race. And then we've got Hay in 12th, 11th, 12th, yeah.
Yep, Gary 11, hey, 12. No.
It got you as well then, didn't it? And then we've got Jimmy and Rich. Okay, so let's get ready then for the start of the race. We're on 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and away they go! And it looks like Steve F1 has got a decent start here, but actually so has SGP. Having a look at the inside of Demon R into 1. Demon R covers it off. It's very busy. It's 5 wide in the background. They're all getting a bit out of shape. 3 wide into turn 1 up at the lead. Now they go 2 by 2 by 2. And Steve F1's lost out big time as SGP's up alongside Demon R.
Yeah, Dave the Harp, they're battling with Steve F1 and coming up into turn 2, or second chicane, sorry.
Yeah, SGP having a look up the inside now into the second chicane as well. Dave coming in there a little bit hot, but manages to slot back in just about. SRI getting past Steve F1, and Jason's having a go as well. So Steve F1 is plummeting, and that can happen around this track. You get offline and you can easily get swamped, Tawny very nearly dipped a wheel. I would not be surprised if we see some cars dipping wheels around the Lesmos and ended up facing the wrong direction. It always happens, but a brilliant start to the race so far. SGP leading the way towards the Ascari chicane, and there's a section of corners, Ray, where previously we'd be able to take lots of curbs, but in these current settings the drivers are going to have to be very, very careful to not go over the curbs too much or go wide, as Demon R got a little wobbly.
They could end up with like a 2nd or 2-second penalty just by going wide. As we see Demon R, SGP at the front, and then Dave the Harp, SRI. Get wee battle going on in the pack cam. I can't see who it is.
It's like everybody. SGP was trying to take a bit of a defensive line. Demon R's got a run on him though. Looks like Demon R actually giving SGP a bit of a bump draft, maybe trying to break away rather than attack. But Dave the Art with Slipstream closing in. Having a look up the inside. manages to just squeeze through. Does he? No, the side-by-side. I don't know if maybe he went a bit late on the brakes there or not, I don't know, but now he's side-by-side with Demon R, and SRI trying to get involved as well.
Yeah, I think SRI's going for the slipstream with Dave the Harp. Just has to watch his braking point here, doesn't get it wrong, or else he'll be right up Dave the Harp's shooter.
Absolutely. Also, if you're going to go side by side through this second chicane, you're going to have to be very, very careful, because it could easily go very, very wrong very, very quickly. So Demon R now passed by SRI through that chicane, and Jason starting to close in on them. And in the background, we've got 3 wide through the Lesmos. You can see a bit of that on the pack cam. Oh, someone's going wide there in the gravel. That might be Hay. I think it was. No, it wasn't hay, it was gravel. Boom, boom. Oh, SGP,
yeah,
so go on.
Yeah, he's made a bit of a break. SRI hunting, SRI, Dave the Harp, and Demon R all in a wee battle here. They'll have, I don't know, Dave the Harp might have stills in the slipstream.
I think he's just a little bit too far back, actually, because SRI's gained on him as they head into the Parabolica. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Steve F1 and Jason work together. Oh, Dave's got a little bit wide. Going to have to be careful there. That's SRI through. I wouldn't be surprised if Dave had to give it a little bit of a lift there, as Steve F1 is closing up to the back of Jason. Is he going to bump draft him or not? I don't know, because these 3 are still battling. I also believe that the front 4 are all on the racing super soft tyre, as Dave the Arp giving SRI a bit of a bump draft on this occasion, as Dave and Demon are side by side. Steve F1 did get past Jason, and I think he probably had to on that occasion, because the pack was starting to close back up on them, as Demon R got a better run out of the first couple of corners, manages to get past Dave the Harp. So yeah, front 4 definitely on the racing super soft tyre, which if you push them hard, they're probably going to last about 7 to 10 minutes, as Demon R and Dave the Arp side by side. Dave a little wide. That's going to bring Steve F1 into play.
Yeah, just a wee, I think just a wee mistake on the brake there, and he just couldn't get the car turned for the second part there. Just let Steve F1 through.
Absolutely. Also, if you clip the inside curb on the left-hander, it can pirouette the car all the way to the left. It's something I know I've seen in practice. Okay, so let's have a look. Conrad, he's on the racing soft tyre. Interesting. Could potentially go long. But one of the things a few of the drivers have been telling me in practice is that the soft tyre is very consistent. Oh, wobble, wobble. That may be a penalty. It may be, because Connor went wide as well. Yeah, so it can be very consistent, but when you get to sort of lap 6, 7, 8, and it is a penalty for Connor, the car really starts to slide, and when the softs slide, it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. Whereas the super softs, Ray, I have been told, they're not necessarily consistent, but they don't slide anywhere near as much through a stint. And some drivers have been able to go 20 minutes on them, although the last few minutes are very slow. SRI, caught up SGP, doesn't attack into 1. I wonder why not.
I don't know. We'll need to ask him someday.
Yeah, we will.
But what?
I was just saying, we will. I'll tell you what, though, what he may be doing is looking at attacking into the second chicane instead, and then trying to break away. As on the pack cam, Gary's got Jimmy all over him. His SRI is looking, but not going for it there. Okay, maybe he's just trying to look after his tyres a little bit. I mean, to be fair, SRI's done well to break away from Demon R and Dave the Harp, although Dave the Harp's dropped back a bit into the clutches of Steve F1. Jason's still there with Conrad, Formula Gary, and the rest of the pack. Conrad, yeah, he did get a penalty, didn't he? He's managed to knock a little bit off it.
1/10.
Yep. Connor! Oh, and Hay! They're both off. I did say I wouldn't be surprised if we see cars dipping wheels there, and that is exactly what can happen. And for those soft compound tyres now, I would not be surprised if he wants to get rid of them. Demon R's caught back up to SRI, by the way, on the pack cam, as Dave the Harp still in 4th place. Unfortunately for Dave, looking at his lap times, his second lap was a 1:49.6, which isn't bad. But then the third lap's a 1:51.3. That's a massive drop-off.
Okay, it's the tyre wear. You're like halfway or 4 laps in.
Yeah. Looking at SRI, yeah, so his left side isn't as bad as Dave the Harp's. It'd be interesting to see what SGP and Demon R's is like, because somewhat Dave the Harp is peeling into the pits. So yeah, maybe he's struggling a little bit on these particular tyres, as SRI this occasion going for the move up into one. And see, a little bit of a puff of smoke from one of these three there. As SRI goes a little deep into the corner, but manages to get the position. But here now comes Demon R, as SGP has got a bit of a run. Is Demon R going to try to go around the outside? I'm not sure it's the wisest thing to perhaps try, because I can imagine SGP having a cheeky look up the inside into the second chicane. And there you go, there's the look. Is he going to go for it? No, you see, interesting. Demon R's back right out of it. Kind of letting these guys battle, Ray.
Yeah, but Demon R just needs. I think you'll be watching behind him, seeing how quick Steve F1's going to catch him.
Also, it could be a case of look after the tyres, because we're looking at SGP's tyres. They are actually looking a little bit more worn than SRI's were. So yeah, interesting. Oh, as SGP's got a run. Regarding the strategy, old SRI goes defensive, and this is going to slow these guys down considerably. So I think you're right, Steve F1 is going to catch these up pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's what happens when they start battling. They slow down quite a lot, and next minute you've got the whole pack on your back, and you're like, where'd the juice come from?
Absolutely. Well, that's usually what my missus says to me.
What missus?
Well, I call her the missus, but she don't know it. Okay, so I would like to see Demon R's tyre wear at the moment, but I was going to mention about strategy. With the super soft tyres, where we could see a 3-stop pitting around 10 minutes, 2-stop pitting around 13 minutes, and then any variation of the strategy from there. Someone on the pack cam dived into the pits. I couldn't tell exactly who it was, as Demon R and SGP getting side by side. Interesting was what we're seeing here, though, Ray. These guys are sort of going side by side before a corner, but single file through the corners.
Yeah, I think it's just making sure there's no any mishaps in the corners. But SGP's got a run. Is he going to go for it, or is he going to tuck in behind? So he's tucking back in behind. Yep,
that is. Steve F1 is now closing in, and he's bringing Jason with him. So SRI leading the way, and this is it's definitely an interesting situation, because we're at 10 minutes now as SGP runs a little bit wide. So could we see any of these guys pitting now? One of the difficulties for any of these top 5 at the moment would be that there are some drivers that have already pitted. Oh, someone on the pack cam spinning. It's Gary. Oh, disaster for Gary. SGP once again doesn't go for it, and I think this also may be a case of just trying to not hurt the tyres here.
Yeah, to try and get them going up a bit longer if they can, but it's more at the end. It's how their strategy plays out at the end.
Absolutely. SGP having a look up the inside, then into the Parabolica, makes the move on this occasion, perhaps deciding that it's time to get a shift on as it gets busy. Demon R trying to have a look around the outside of SRI now as well. SGP holding that inside. He's actually going for the pits, and so is Steve. Oh yeah, and Jason. Ooh.
Oh, Demon R. He's looking. He's going for the attack now on SRI.
I tell you what, look at Demon R's tyres. They're actually still pretty good. The rear left's got 50%. Oh, he took a lot of curb there. But the front left has got a bit more than 50%. I'd say they're still capable of some decent lap times. We'll see how long they're going to go. On the pack cam, Arp has got Dave the Harp up his chuff. Dave the Harp having already pitted after about 7 minutes, so we'll be on fresher tyres. I didn't see SRI's tyres there, Ray, did you?
Just about the same. About the same as Demon R's.
Interesting. So Arp being passed by Dave the Harp into the second chicane, but I think Arp is on the soft tyre, and I don't think he's pitted yet.
I didn't have a clue.
No,
I didn't. He's on a set of tyres. All I know, they're black and
back and round.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so who's that behind them? That's Twilight. I think Twilight has already pitted as well. I can't be 100% certain. Excuse me. So looking at Dave the Harp's tyre wear here, he's done 5 minutes, so his tyre wear's not too bad. Twilight's on the soft compound tyre. Conrad, and then we've got the SGP Steve F1 Jason, and I couldn't see who that was behind him. Might have been Bob. So these guys having recently pitted from the front. It's Jimmy, sorry. So
Jimmy,
yeah, so SGP and Steve F1 and Jason, who were sort of battling for the lead, be gaining quite quickly, and SRI's into the pits, so that's for the 2-stop strategy.
I believe so. How long? 13 minutes, and then now 13 minutes.
Yep, and then get to the end. Yeah. But as Steve F1 and Jason are finding here, around Monza, when you get in the traffic, it can be very, very difficult to pass and break away. Steve F1 having a look up the inside of SGP, doesn't quite get a chance to go for it. Jason!
Jason! Very good.
I think he may have been assisted a little bit by Jimmy, maybe not. We've got 2 cars side by side as well. Is that Formula Gary? No, it's SRI having pitted, battling with Rich Blues.
Jason's up there still. He's not went anywhere.
Okay. He's in 8th. Well, yeah, okay, so... Oh, right, okay, maybe it's...
He's still behind Steve F1.
Yeah, maybe a bit of a lag. I mean, thinking about it, actually, last time we did race here, Jason did have awful lag. So I've not really seen any sort of... I'm trying to think of the word, any evidence of it so far, other than he went off track and then reappeared somewhere, which is the definition of lag, I suppose. Okay, so as I was talking about traffic, this is exactly what I was on about. SRI, having pitted, has been jumped, or Jimmy's up the inside of him. Side by side they go as Hayes. Jimmy was stationary there, I think, a bit, unless he was getting rid of a penalty. So SRI's been undercut by Steve F1, Jason and SGP, but they've all got this sort of traffic. Steve F. Sorry, bloody, I get the words out.
SRI,
That's the one. Yep.
Inside with Parabalka.
Yep. As Demonar has pitted, and somebody else has pitted. I think it was Artpal, who's getting rid of his soft compound tyre. So Demonar's gone nearly 15 minutes on the super soft, so he won't get to the end. But it'll be interesting to see what strategies are going to play out here. Steve F1 going for the move on SGP.
Yeah, just pulling out late on the brakes into turn 1, and then you've got to watch because SGP's still in his inside coming out. So, but all fair play there.
Absolutely.
And SRI's on the back of them now, so what will the hankery Scotsman do?
Well, it's a good question. On the pack cam, Rich and Jimmy were side by side as Gary, got a bit whoa, Jason, where did Jason go? He's parked.
Conrad was a wee bit wide through the chicane. SRI going for a look in Lesmos.
Just having a look at the... SRI's got to get the move on SGP. I think we have just lost Jason from the race as SGP gets edged a little wide there. Not really the kind of edging he's into, but SRI gets through. So yeah, I think Jason was having some lag issues, went deep at the second chicane, and then his car appeared parked, and he's no longer in at this race. SGP having a look, not going for it, as another sign of don't kill the tyre. Go on.
SRI's got a penalty, he was a wee bit
Ooh,
ghosty.
SGP might have one as well there for throwing gravel on the racetrack. I mean, it is one of those things around Ascari. Normally we'd be quite lenient around here, but with the penalty system in place that we've got at the moment, as Formula Gary battling with Hay and Demon are actually trying to get round the outside. So once again, the traffic coming into play as it should, as Rich Blues heads to the pit lane. And I've completely forgot what I was going to say. So yeah, we'll carry on.
SRI going for the move on Conrad. SRI still trying to get rid of that penalty.
Oh yeah, that it is. Just cut the corner, so we might get another one. That's what I was on about, the leniency of the curbs to Ascari. Yeah, you do have to be very careful of running wide on the exit of the Ascari chicane, because if you go over the white line, you can get penalised. Conrad, I don't think he's in a position where he can really attack. He may try, but I don't think his tyres have got the grip, to be honest, as SRI manages to stay ahead and get rid of a bit more of his penalty. But look at this, the whole pack once again forming up. Demonar is just trying to get past Gary still. I think he's just managed to do it. So hopefully the traffic's not... I mean, I can't... who's there? I don't know. All I can see is lights.
Conrad, SGP, Demonar, Gary, everybody. Except for 4.
Head to the bright lights. Follow the bright lights. All side by side. Who's that? Is it Conrad and SGP and Demonar? I think it is, yeah. I think Conrad's struggling with his tyres now, and it's putting him under a lot of pressure as they're all onto the back straight down towards the Parabolica. Recently was given a new name, but it's always going to be the Parabolica.
We see Conrad's still there. He's still trying to fight for positions.
He is. Okay, so SRI trying to close in on Steve F1. Conrad, I think, may be heading into pit. Yes, he is. Oh, and Artpal looked like he was going to, and then perhaps opted not to. So, yeah, SRI is closing up on Steve F1. Demonar now needs to try and break away from this pack battle that's going on behind him. Gary, Artpal, and Hay. Hey! Oh, I think that was evasive.
Did SGP back? Because he was with us, but he must have done.
You know what? He may well have done. There's so much going on. It's difficult to keep track. Yeah, David Harp's now leading. So yeah, maybe SGP has pitted again. Perhaps slightly earlier for the 3-stop strategy. But it'll be interesting what happens. Gary was sliding a little bit there. It's okay though. Jimmy, he goes a little bit wider. Oh, not as wide as Bob was going though. Oh, and Bob's been reset. Unlucky, Chief.
Yeah, sorry, dog was barking there. We see Artpal on the back of Gary. Gary. I'm looking for this decal.
You may not. It may not be easy to see. You'll probably be easier to see it on the pack cam if we get a chance, because when they're going past at like 150 mile an hour, yeah, you're not going to be able to see it. Side by side they go. Can they get through? Yes, they can. Dave Hart coming under pressure now. Look at his tyres. Dave needs to pit. The thing is, if Dave's on a 3-stop strategy, pitting now, it'd be good for him. I don't know. He must have done a second stop already, because he pitted after 7 minutes, didn't he? Unless he's just done a 13-minute stint, which I know he can do.
SRI and Steve F1 side by side, as well as nearly 3 wide. Oh, SGP, there's SGP.
Yeah.
He must have put, yeah, he did put his down the
tyres. Yeah. On the pack cam, we did see SRI finishing that move on Steve F1. We seem to cut away from it a little early on the main screen for cameraman to look at SGP and Conrad battling. Connor's got a bit of a penalty. He's trying to get, oh, that may be deep. Oh no, he's managed to stay on the road. Nicely. Oh, big wobble though on the exit of the corner.
Yep, he's keeping SGP behind him, so this is playing into the likes of SRI, Steve F1 and Demonar.
Absolutely. Oh, SGP's going for it this time. Oh no, he can't. Oh, Jimmy can't either. Oh, Conrad gets the move done. Yeah, so this could be compromising SGP, and the thing is, he's not going to want to punish his tyres, is he? But Conrad's sneak. Oh, and a wobble. Oh, and he's dead. He's dead. He's dead. Oh.
Send him a medic.
I think Gary was off there as well. I think it may have been Gary. Oh, Demonar on Steve F1. Where did that come from? Looking at Demonar's tyres as well. I mean, okay, he's only been on them 6 minutes, but he's got loads of life left in those tyres. I wonder what Steve F1 and SRIs are like, because they pitted, I think SRI pitted 1 lap before Demonar and Steve F1 2 laps before. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I can't remember.
I think it was because Steve F1 pitted at the same time as SGP, didn't he? So SRI's headed to the pits. That's a bit earlier than I would have expected. He's not going to get to the end from here. Steve F1 on the back of Demon R now. Is he going to go for the move? Maybe a little bump draft. Here's a little bump draft. I'd like to see Steve F1's tyres though, because Demon R, having gone 15 minutes on that first stint, has now got plenty of tyre life left and is dropping Steve F1, look. And it would suggest that Demon R could potentially get to the 30-minute mark, but I would expect Steve F1 to be pitting in about 3 minutes' time. So strategy would be very interesting.
Yeah, I think Steve F1 was just kind of falling because of how far back Art Pal is, but he's dropped quite a bit.
Yeah, well I think it's his tyre wear that's dropping him. But I'm concerned that SRI's pitted too early to get to the end, which would suggest he's going to have to pit again. Dave the Harp saw pit recently. He's closing back in nicely on Twilight. Oh, who's that wide? Is that Hay? It was Hay. Unfortunately, he's done that a couple of times in this race. And it is so easy to do around this track, especially when the tyres start to wear. So Dave closing in on SGP. Twilight. Dave closing in on Twilight. And Rich Blues closing in on Dave.
Yep, it's going to be interesting. And we've got Jimmy and Gary side by side out of the second Lesmo.
Yep, Gary with a 1.7 second penalty currently to get rid of. The penalty situation is an interesting one, I suppose. I mean, this is race 4 of 9, so maybe at the end of this race we can... Steve F1's in the pits, by the way. And looks like the Pat Cam is going to go on board for a lap with Demon R. So although his tyres are worn, it'd be interesting to see how he gets on with that. But on the main screen, Dave Harp is closing in on Twilight. Is he going to go for a move down into 1? He's kind of looking, but Monza's one of those where I like to position my car where Dave did, as Hay makes the move on Rich. Yeah, I like to position my car where Dave did, just so you can see the braking point.
Yeah, that's a thing, trying to see braking points as well. Sometimes if you're not used to maybe braking on the left-hand side coming into the second chicane here, it could be off-put.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. Twilight little out of shape, and look at this, we've got, is that SRI closing in on Rich, trying to Dave the Arp up the inside of Twilight into the first Lesmo. Now he's through. I think Dave had a little wobble there. Twilight had a wobble in the previous corner. Excuse me, trying to get 3 wide just behind them. Good luck.
Yeah. Well, some dust kicked up, don't know who from. So we got gargle of cars.
So Hay holding off Rich Blues, SRI and a couple of others. Dave the Harp. If Dave could be in a good position here actually. If he can get another 3 to 5 minutes out of these tyres, which hopefully he can do, he could get to the end on his next stop. We'll have to wait and see. Twilight's in a pretty good position as well. His wear's not too bad. Someone's deep. So it's SRI.
Bob.
Yeah, I don't know if Bob maybe helped SRI go a little deep there. That's just what Kirsty wants, isn't it?
I think it was just SRI a wee bit late on the brakes trying to get round. I think it was Hay at the time.
So SRI now having a look up the inside, but Bob has got the slipstream. The tyres around here as well, it's, I do find it fascinating, but I think this is definitely one of those places where we've got very different driving styles being put to use here, as SRI really trying to get past Bob. He's not going to want to be held up any more than he's going to be, but Bob's late on. Bob's not necessarily late on the brakes, but he's late. SGP going for a move on Arpal into the first Lesmo, side by side. There you go. And SGP kind of needs to get this move done as well. What happened on the pack cam? SRI still behind Bob. Go on, Ray.
Yeah, No, I'm just seeing what was going on still.
No, I was trying to promote you to overtake him. Go on, Ray. I was.
Well, he's got ahead of Bob.
Oh, but Steve F1 has given Bob a bump draft. In it, and another one to keep him ahead into Ascari. SRI will not like. Oh, but Bob's gone wide. Oh dear, he couldn't handle the speed, could Bob? Oh, and he's wobbling. Oh, I think Steve F1's just stitched Bob up a right good in there.
Yeah, get that report up, Bob.
Yeah, bump drafts him into an overtake, goes deep, makes him wobble on the 8. Oh, hey, Demon R in the pits, and I'm going to sneeze.
Yep, SRI on the back of here with Steve F1. SRI, he's got nowhere, has he? Oh, he's gone for the pit. He's said enough.
Yeah, okay, well that makes sense now. A short stop and pitting now and getting to the end. Steve F1, he's trying to make the move on Hay. Or was it Hay making the move on Steve F1 actually?
No, Steve F1 making the move on Hay.
Okay, so yeah, I mentioned a moment ago about seeing different driving styles. We are seeing some drivers braking later than others, but what we will also see from that is those drivers that are braking later are going to be pitting more. So it's kind of like the reward for braking later is an extra pit stop, and it's not much of a reward really. So yeah, I do find it fascinating. I mean, I would highly recommend any of the drivers go back at the end of this race, as Demon R, having pitted, is on the back of Bob now. We saw SRI stuck behind Bob for quite some time. We'll see how Demon R can get on. Steve F1 trying to still get past Hay. But yeah, I'd recommend any of the drivers going back and having a look at the footage of a few of the drivers from this race and see how they compare. As Steve F1 and Bob, Hay go side by side.
Yeah, so he does into the Ascari.
Ooh, sideways.
He's still ahead.
He is, but he's slow out of the corner. Steve F1 may have just tagged the back of it. No, he's got alongside him. So, yeah, so that's where it's kind of like, it's not quite worked for Hay there. Dave Hart trying to close in on Art Powell. Hay having a look up the inside. He's going to go a little deeper than he wants, but that's a move. It's going to hurt his tyres more. Going to compromise his SGP in the pits. Art Powell in the pits. Okay, this is now definitely setting up to be interesting towards the end. Bob in the pits as well. Oh, fascinating stuff we've got going on here.
Yeah, I think Steve F1's tyres were pretty brand new. I think he'll be going to the end of it.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say. Steve pitting when he did, I think was a stop to get to the end. Or Hay wobbling all over the place. Demon R doing a bit of a shuffle up the inside. Hay may try and come back at him into the second chicane, but I don't know if he's got the grip in the tyres. And this is where Demon R is not going to want to lose any time. So if Hay's going to attack, let him. Yeah, let's give him the space. Oh, Steve F1 making a move on Conrad. Got a little wide though, or was it Conrad attacking? I can't remember.
I think it's Conrad attacking Steve F1.
Okay,
Steve F1 was ahead of Conrad into the first chicane.
On the pack, I've just seen Gary and Jimmy have both had separate big offs at the second chicane. So Steve F1, I believe, is set to go to the end, as is Demon R. Dave the Harp's got another pit stop to do. Conrad, I believe, has got another pit stop to do. So we're currently looking at Steve F1 and Demon R battling for the win, but SRI is not far away, and he's also set to go to the end. Oh, Conrad wide. He may get another penalty there. Waiting for it to pop. Waiting. Maybe he's done it enough times that he's worked out how to go over there without getting a penalty.
Yeah. So going a wee bit wide, Demon R taking the tighter line around Parabolica there. And now they're side by side. Try to see what's going on in the pack cam. We've got SRI and SGP, Twilight sharing the slipstream, Rich Blues bump drafting.
Look at the main screen though, Demon R. Oh, Conrad braking later. Is he going to stop it in time? He may have just given Steve F1 a little bit of a nudge. And yeah, as you mentioned, a lot going on in the pack.
SGP and SRI managed to get ahead of Twilight there.
I do believe Conrad has just let Demon R through, so maybe Conrad feeling that overtake was not quite a fair one. SRI then on the back of SGP, these two going to the end from here, I believe, side by side. Now, earlier on, we were seeing drivers like these two slotting into single file. I don't think we're going to see that now. Twilight looking for a space where there isn't one.
Yeah, he was going to send it up the inside there, but he's went into single file mode.
Absolutely. Okay, on the pack cam, we've got Steve F1 leading from Demon R. Demon R with the fresher tyres, I believe, from pitting a lap later. Then we've got Conrad, who still needs to pit, I believe. And then this battle for fourth, SGP, SRI, Twilight, who I believe can get to the end. Artpal can get to the end, who's just making a move past Rich Blues. I thought I saw SRI with a bit of a penalty there, or just got rid of one, maybe?
I don't know.
I don't know. Okay, so who's that? Is that Artpal?
Yeah, Artpal and Rich Blues.
Rich has been doing quite well in this race, hasn't he? He's been up there. I mean, what I will say is, okay, we've 3 cars that have dropped off at the back at the moment, but they're going to close back in. All Rich Blues into the pits. But it is very, very close throughout the whole field. SRI still battling with SGP up the inside, headed towards turn 1. Can he get the move done? Oh, SGP braking that. Well, went on the brakes and then came off him again to go that little later, but now he's slow in the middle of the corner, and that's going to compromise his exit.
Twilight's like, who did get his slipstream from?
Well, it's an interesting situation for Twilight, because if he positions his car in the wrong place, he's going to get mugged from behind.
Yeah, SGP looking to go take it back in the second chicane.
Can't quite get it done though. It's a lovely battle, but here now comes Twilight. If Twilight goes up the inside, yeah, follow SRI there, get up the inside of SGP, but SGP goes round the outside of SRI. I think SRI maybe went a little bit too cautious or defensive there, but now he's back up the inside through Lesmo too.
Yeah, and there's Twilight. He's like, where'd they go?
Yeah.
SRI's like, Twilight, come this side, I'll give you a slipstream.
But also here comes Bob and Dave. Dave with fresh tyres. Bob with fairly fresh tyres, I believe.
Twilight's got SGP now.
He has, yeah, he has. He's managed to get ahead. Bob's right there as well. I wouldn't be surprised if we see SGP attacking Twilight back. So yeah, now it's a very different phase of the race now, isn't it, Ray? We've only 5 minutes to go. We saw people playing nice early on. It's not playing nice now, is it? It's attack.
Yeah, they're on that attack mode the last 5 minutes. Sorry.
Oh.
SRI's
sharing that slip.
Yeah.
Conrad has pitted from 3rd place, so this now becomes the battle for 3rd. SRI broken away a little bit, sharing that slipstream. David Hart behind SGP side by side with Bob. This is where it could get very, very difficult. Bob's actually passing SGP in through 1. What a move! I think I might know what SGP will be saying in that cockpit as well.
I don't know.
Press your button!
What?
Oh, I said press your button. Not that one. Fucking hell. I couldn't have set that up better for your added sound effect. Oh, SGP coming back past Bob. Oh, I bet I know what Bob's saying in that cockpit.
I like cock.
There you go. Fucking hell. Right. So SGP retakes the place. What these guys have got to be careful of is the amount they're battling now. Not only is it going to cost them a little bit of lap time, or pack cam, I was just about to say, David R's closed in on the back of Steve F1. How's Steve F1's tyres? Not bad. Rear left, nearly about 50% gone. A third gone from the fronts. I don't know how Demon R's tyres...
2 laps to go? 3 laps to go?
Yeah, Demon R has got about a third gone from the rears and a quarter gone from the front, so Demon R got much better life in his tyres at the moment. SGP trying to retake that place off Twilight. I think Bob overtaking him has woken SGP up from his slumber. but overtaking into the Parabolica tends to result in one thing, Ray, and what would that be?
I like cock.
No! Being repassed into one. Here we go. So Twilight coming back at it. Side by side they go. The pack is still mental, as we can see there. 3-4 wide. Conrad just got sideways. He's on his fresh tyres. SRI and SGP side by side. No, it's Twilight and SGP. Yep. And on the pack cam, we can see Demonar's really closed in on the back of Steve F1. Is SRI safe now? Ooh, not with that. All right, well, that's just brought him right back in it. Dave the Arp's in on this battle now as well with Twilight. Oh, fascinating. Okay, the pack cam may have to cover that because the leaders are now almost nose to tail with 2 minutes to go. I think we may have this one and one more. Depends, yeah, because 150 a lap, so yeah. Oh, Steve F1 maybe a little wide there. Now the trick, well, not the trick. The thing that's going to be going through these guys' mind is, if I'm going to overtake, when am I going to do it so that I cross the line in first? And for Steve F1, if I'm going to be overtaken, where do I want it to happen so I can re-attack? And I can tell you now, Demon R would not be wanting to overtake into the Parabolica, because what happens when you overtake into the Parabolica, Ray?
I like cock.
Exactly.
SGP was trying to go around outside of SRI and the
Parabolica. Okay, Steve.
He's decided to not overtake. He's coming in a slipstream.
He wants
SRI's
it to turn one.
defending.
So Steve F1 got close to re-attacking. Go on.
SGP's again in. Oh, here we go on the main screen. SGP's got the move on. SRI looking for a switchback. Somebody through the bollards.
Yeah, it was Rich Blues. I think there's a few cars off there actually. So we are on to the final lap of the race. The pack has become one. Ooh!
SRI looking.
Oh, they've both gone deep. Oh, that could be costly for the pair of them. Are either of them going to be penalised? SGP's letting SRI through, but he's also got a half-second penalty. He's got it down to quarter of a second, but if he doesn't lose that before the end of the lap, that will be increased to 1 second. And looking how close the pack is, if you get a 1 second penalty here, you're going to lose pretty much every position. Okay, up at the front, Demon R has opened the gap to Steve F1 a little bit. Steve F1's a little bit sideways. Oh, that's cost him. I don't think he's going to be re-attacking. No, he's not. He's not. Go on.
Nearly 3 wide in the pack cam as we see SGP getting rid of that penalty. Is he close enough to SRI?
Oh, he's got a slipstream.
He's going to get slipstream. This is going to go down to the wire.
It isn't. Now, this is the one occasion you do want to overtake into the Parabolica. SRI going defensive up the inside. SGP, is he going to switch back or go around? He's trying to go around the outside. Demon R's going to take the win. Well done. Steve F1 will take second place. Someone's gone wide. Connor's nicking a position of someone. SRI's going to hold on to third. Is he? It's close. Third and fourth for SRI, SGP, Connor. It was Dave the Harp that Conrad nipped at the final corner, and it's so close over the line between the whole pack. We got Hay at the back, unfortunately. Jimmy with a 5.5 second penalty. If I was you, Jimmy, you're at the back. You're not going to gain it yet. Get rid of that penalty if you can, mate. What a race. What a race. So Hay 12th, Jimmy 13th. I think Rich and Bob were unlucky on the last lap. I think they both ended up off at turn one. Couldn't tell you exactly what happened there. But Jimmy does manage to cross the line with no penalties left on his name, so he's done really well there. But holy cow, what a race once again.
Yeah, and it's always, well, that race, it was all throughout the race, but usually it's just at the start and then the closing stages, but that was a battle from start to finish.
Absolutely.
The drivers gave us another great video.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many so many battles going on there. I mean, to put it into perspective, the battle for the lead, there's so many different strategies. We had SGP, who unfortunately didn't end up like in the battle for the win, but I mean, halfway through the race, anyone could have won that race, because with GP doing a 3-stop on 10 minutes, Steve F1 doing a 2-stop, I think, but it was an early first stop and a later second stop. Demon R doing a 2-stop with a very late first stop and not that late last stop. SRI doing a very unusual 3-stop strategy, but one that works. We've talked about that before. It's a bit like with fuel, isn't it? Sometimes you need just a little top up and you do a quick stop and then pit again later on. So it's worked for him. And SGP, his 3-stop strategy was working for him. I mean, he ended up in a great battle at the end. Conrad, I don't know what his strategy was, but he pitted with about 5 minutes to go and ended up getting back up to the position he did, 5th place. And Dave Hart was unlucky. He very nearly was attacking SGP into the final few corners as well. So the different strategies definitely making for some interesting racing, but just how close the field was there. I mean, okay, there was a bit of a gap between like first and second and the rest of the field, but 3rd to 10th was covered by 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, it's not much.
No.
That's one fuck up and you're over there.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I mean, you think about how many times in the past we've seen someone outbrake themselves into the final corner and go a bit deep. If someone had done that on that last lap, you'd be losing so many positions. But yeah, what a race. I do want to mention as well that from what we could see on there, obviously there was a lot going on. But once again, it does look like the quality of driving from the drivers that perhaps don't get as much time to practice is definitely appearing to have improved. And I say that because I know I've mentioned before, Ray, that one of the things I do is I don't necessarily look at how drivers are doing week on week on week. I look at what happened last time we raced at Monza. What happened what happened the time before that, and the time before that, and the time before that? So, do we have a big, massive crash into turn 1 at the start? No. Okay, that's better. Into turn 2 at the start? No. Okay, that's improvement. And then the quality of, are people attacking in places where you go, ooh, or not? Or are people playing it a bit more sensible? It looks like the quality of driving is still on the rise up, and I would definitely recommend that the drivers keep trying to go that way, even if you get frustrated and you want to smack people over the edge sometimes. An upward curve is a better curve to be on. So yeah. Oh, I'm out of breath.
Yeah.
So, hey?
I know why you're out of breath.
Go on.
I like cock.
Exactly, yeah. Very funny, very funny. You're about as exciting as that time I dangerously... I'm not going to say that, it's alright. G-Spot, there isn't one this week, folks, while I remember. Because we're just a little bit time limited, although I have had a message sent to me for something that we can have a look on a G-Spot. Nothing too serious, but it'll have to be next week, I'm afraid. It's just that both Ray and myself are busy this weekend, so we haven't got time to get it together. But we'll sort something out for next weekend. Anything else you want to mention about this race, Ray?
Yeah, it's a fantastic driving from all the drivers. Great to watch there and commentate on.
There was something that I did want to mention. Okay. We did mention partway through about the penalties. Was it the penalties that I said I wanted to talk about afterwards? But also, the tyres, and I hinted on it a little bit about those drivers that are braking later are doing more pit stops. I do want to emphasise that again, because what a few drivers may find is that they can brake later than others and still make a corner, but not for very many laps, and they're killing their tyres because of it. So I would highly recommend any of the drivers that are struggling on their tyres to get 7, 10, 13 minutes out of, say, the super soft tyre. Go and have a look at the likes of SGP, sorry, not SGP from this race, because being on the 3-stop he went attacking, but Steve F1, Demon R from this race, and have a look at when they're braking, how they're braking, because one of the things, or a couple of things that I can mention, massive key feature to looking after the tyres, especially around here, is if you are still on the brakes when you start steering, your tyres are going to be dead. So if you look at Steve F1 and Demon R, what you'll probably find is that they are fully off the brakes when they start steering. That way they're not punishing the tyres as much. But also they're probably braking a bit earlier than many, but doing it in a way that slows them down quickly and keeps their speed high, but doesn't hurt the tyres. You know what? Actually, you know what might be a good idea, Ray? You know, we did the corner analysis at Laguna Seca. Mm-hmm. You're thinking, no, but I'll go. Mm-hmm. Do you remember when we did it?
At was it the corkscrew, wasn't it?
It was, yes. Maybe doing a corner analysis from this race on the next G-spot might be interesting.
Yeah, probably into one of the chicanes.
Yeah.
The difference on the braking and...
Or perhaps not even the chicanes. So, for example, even the Parabolica. So, because the Parabolica is an interesting one. You can brake quite late for the Parabolica, but if you do, or if you go down the gears too quick, the rear end of the car steps out. If the rear end of the car steps out, you slide, you hurt the tyres, you slide more. It's a domino effect. So I know, for example, again, at that final corner Parabolica, for me, I was braking and getting all my shifting done and slowing down done before I steered, and it just made the car so much more stable. It just comes with the risk of having to go, right, if someone wants to attack me, then I'm going to have to let them do it, because otherwise it won't help my tyres.
Yeah.
Right, well, in a sec we'll have a quick chat about the next racetrack. But I've got to say, another absolutely fascinating, fully exciting, amazing experience watching the race there. But I will say that if you want an amazing experience, be very, very careful, because I won't bore you with the details, but the Dyson ball cleaner is a dangerously misleading product name.
I like cock.
Oh dear. But it could be worse, because I was talking to a mate of mine, and I said I met a girl with 12 breasts, and he said, that sounds strange. That doesn't it? Right, next track, what we got?
Seaside Gardens?
It's not Seaside Gardens, is it? It's just Dragon Trail Gardens.
Oh, Dragon Trail Gardens.
Yes. Interesting.
Yeah, the down into that swooping long left hander and then into chicane. And the chicane will be one out for penalties.
Well, penalty spins.
Yeah, get hit by this.
Absolutely. You mentioned about the left hand. Other drivers get their slow before they don't. They will kill their right side tyres. So yeah.
And there's a big hairpin.
Yeah.
And we're braking late there, you're just going to go straight on.
Absolutely. It's a very wide part of the track there as well on the entry, and it does lend itself for overtaking opportunities. But if you get it wrong, you could end up in the seaside.
Yep, or you could end up taking everybody outside out.
Yes. The next sector, I must admit, I really like the next few corners. There's like sort of 3 or 4 sort of 90-degree. Yeah. With a bit of hill, bit of camber, you can get a nice flow through those, and then we're into an interesting set of corners, which actually
triple rate.
I think it's a quadruple apex. I think, but turn 1's gonna knacker your right tyre. These corners are gonna knacker your left tyre, so it might balance itself out a little bit.
Good. I don't know. I only done 3 laps.
Same here. But it is an interesting set of corners because, and I'm sure I've mentioned it before. I don't want to sound like I'm preaching, but with those particular set of corners, I work them backwards. So I kind of go, right, I want to hit the final apex. So the rest of them, I don't really care about at the moment. I want to hit that final apex as fast as I can. So where does my car need to be able to do that? So that then gives you where your car needs to be on the left.
Track?
Well, that would help. So where does your car need to be on the left-hand side of the track to maximise that corner? And that may mean avoiding apex 3 or 2 or 1. So it's working my racing line, like deconstructing it backwards rather than going into the first apex and seeing where I come out at the 4th one. But yes, it's a game or a race changing set of corners, those, I believe.
Yep. And then you're down into a double left-hander, get a braking point wrong there, you could end up very deep.
Absolutely. And if you do go very, very deep, there's a wall and probably penalties actually. So you don't want to be going too wide there. But yeah, I mean, that's all about making sure you get the exit right for that long run down the main straight. Absolutely brilliant stuff, hopefully. So that'll be next week. So yeah, I've got a feeling that race could be just as exciting as this one.
Yep, I think it is. Well, every race is so far.
Yeah, that is true. Okay, in a moment we'll have a look at the confirmed race result and the championship standings, but I just want to give a shout out to my Scottish friends, because with the Scottish accent becomes so many joys in life. So as an example, every time I go to a coffee shop, I think about the time last summer when I asked for a latte with oat milk, and the poor lad in Scotland behind the counter somehow managed to say with a straight face, "Sir, I'm sorry, I can't make a latte with oat milk." It went a bit Geordie there, but
yeah.
Fucking hell, you made me jump then, cunt. Excuse my language. Bastard. Right, anything else we need to add?
I don't think so.
Okay. Something we could do we could give a little bit of a spoiler for for a feature of the next championship.
The feature of the next championship?
A feature, just one. A feature of the next championship.
Electric.
Oh yeah, go-karts. Yeah. Or nah, we'll save it. I was just
electrifying.
Oh, I've got chills. They're multiplying, and I'm losing control. Oh, that's just Jimmy. I don't mean anything by that, Jimmy. You just like going sideways. Right, are we done? Are we ready to have a look at the standings and the race result?
I think so.
Okay. Right, thank you, Ray, for joining us on commentary.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
You have been a pleasure. Confirmation then of the race result. Demon R taking the victory. Maximum 20 points for him. Steve F1 at second place. SRI holding on nicely for third, with SGP very close behind in fourth. Conrad in fifth place, stealing that place in the final corner from Dave the Harp, who's now sixth. Twilight seventh place. Art Pal in eighth. Formula Gary in ninth. Rich Blues in 10th. Bob in 11th, Hay in 12th, Jimmy in 13th, and Jason with his DNF. No reports placed, I believe, so let's have a look at the standings. And, well, doesn't it make it interesting? Steve F1 and Demon R tied at the top on 74 points, both with 2 wins and 2 second places. Twilight in third place now on 48 points, 4 ahead of SGP, who's in fourth. Conrad up to fifth place, is now 1 ahead of SRI, who's 3 ahead of Art Pal. Jason, though, drops all the way down from about third or fourth down to 8th place with his DNF. Dave the Harp now 9th on 29 points. He's 3 ahead of Bob, who's in 10th. Formula Gary in 11th on 25 points. Then we've got Rich Blues in 12th on 23. Hay in 13th on 11 points. He's a couple ahead of Jimmy in 14th. Well, it's been an absolutely fantastic event once again in the Dynamic GT League. We never are short for action. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be exactly the same next week. So you know what to do. Like, subscribe, hit that notifications bell, check out the merch on the Streamlabs website, link is in the description. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you all again soon.